Welcome everybody to the point for E3 2019 little roundup thing here. Um, this has been E3 2019 was a weird. This is a weird year for E3. I think E3 is starting to wind down in its importance lately. And don't by the way, don't click off here. This isn't the only image I have. I have some more pictures to show you as things progress. It's all it's all right. It's also going to be a bit of a longer to the point just because of all the stuff I have to go through here. Um, so where to start? So I think to the point E3 to get to the point. E3 as a whole was kind of uneventful. Like there was some good stuff here and there, but all in all, most of the companies didn't really have much to show. Uh, it might just be that E3's importance is waning overall. You know, Sony ditched entirely. Nintendo just did a direct that just happened to be around the same time. You know, they weren't actually at E3. At least I think they were. Actually, no. I think they were at E3, but they didn't have their like a conference or anything there. So yeah, where to start here? Yeah, Microsoft. So I think I want to start. Yeah, I want to start with EA. EA was the first conference, I believe. They were the day one conference, and they were E3's just as soulless as ever. Really, the only thing of any relative substance they showed was Jedi Fallen Order. And as a Star Wars fan, as someone who loves the Star Wars universe just as a whole, it looks boring. It looks boring and stale and soulless. There is no. I felt no passion or like it didn't feel like the people making it wanted to make Star Wars. It felt like they wanted to make Uncharted, just put a Star Wars skin on it. It didn't feel like a Star Wars game, right? Because just overall, nothing came off as really Star Wars. It just looks Star Wars. Doesn't actually give you the impression of Star Wars. Aside from that, there was Madden, which I mean, who really cares about Madden updates? It's the same thing every year. Apex Legends, a new character and then more cosmetics for Battle Pass Season 2. There are no new maps, no new like game modes, nothing for Apex Legends, so there is seriously just not Apex Legends has just been ditched. Aside from that, eh, there wasn't really much there. It was a boring start to E3. Then Microsoft came around, and Microsoft was a little boring for a while. They did show off, Halo, which I have the Master Chief Collection on my wish list on Steam. I cannot wait for that. I want to relive the old days of Halo Reach, Halo 3, that kind of thing. I want to relive that stuff. So that was cool. Um, this I think everyone knows about this by now. More Cyberpunk 2077 updates um, with one of the characters in the game apparently being Keanu Reeves. Not only does the character in game look like Keanu showed up and to present it. So that was fun, and just makes me more excited for Cyberpunk because I mean it's a CD Projekt game. CD Projekt knows how to make good games. That's kind of their thing. Beyond that, they did their Xbox Game Pass thing. I think that was the other notable thing they talked about. I don't think the images show up here, but their Game Pass is basically a subscription service. So long as you're subscribed to it, you get Xbox Live Gold. At least I think that's for Game Pass Ultimate now. And you get to just download and play all these different games on your Xbox. And now they're moving it to PC, so you can do it on PC as well. Except the catch is, you have to use Windows 10. And if you can't tell from like the aesthetic here, right here, I don't use Windows 10. I use Windows 7 because I've had no reason to use Windows 10. So I can't do the Xbox Game Pass PC thing anyway. So yeah, it doesn't really affect me much at all. I mean, if you have Windows 10 and you are an avid player of video games on your desktop, sure, that might be really cool. And they did show off a lot of really cool indie games and whatnot, but nothing really blew me away aside from the Cyberpunk reveal and looking at Keanu getting all excited. He is a wonderful human being, man. He's a wonderful man. Bethesda came around, and oh boy, they're really wasn't much to the Bethesda booth, cause or conference, cause they said themselves that they weren't going to talk at all about The Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield. You know, they're two next big titles that everyone wants information about. So there really wasn't much for them to talk about at all, really. I mean, I'm pretty sure they certainly don't want to talk about Fallout right now, given the nonsense surrounding that. Um, so they very quickly just moved on over to not Bethesda, but id Software, who's under Bethesda, and they announced. I think this is a good little summary. I don't remember what this is. I don't quite remember. That might show that's not very important. But they showed a new Wolfenstein 2 DLC campaign, Young Blood, which I believe is set in like 70s, 80s alt history in that Wolfenstein universe. Then they showed off more Doom Eternal, which, as excited as I am about Doom Eternal, it's not news. It's not new. This isn't some big announcement. We already know Doom Eternal is a thing. We've seen trailers for Doom Eternal. We already know, what this is. And then they showed off this Orion thing, which is apparently like you can stream Bethesda games to your phone and then have your phone attached to a little like thing on your Xbox controller so you can play the Xbox controller on your phone and you can like stream Doom Eternal on it. And right now, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It's an experimental thing, and it's about streaming a game like Doom Eternal through your phone smoothly, like one to one and whatnot. Or as they said it, like non perceptible delay or whatever. Which sounds cool until you realize it's very likely, if not certain, that the server that they're streaming from is probably in the same exact building, and or is very close by, making it even smoother than way smoother than it would be for most people. So yeah, not I don't trust it, and then that was about it. So yeah, Bethesda wasn't really much. What was this one? Oh yeah, the PC gaming show, which was dominated by Epic. All I can say is some of the games look cool, sort of. Some of the games look cool, but again, Epic can take their their exclusivity stuff and shove it. I despise them for bringing this console war nonsense over to PC with their paid exclusivity and whatnot. It's not just about the exclusivity, mind you. Um, it's the exclusivity on top of the fact that they are knowingly spending all that exclusivity money where they could be spending it on making a good service on their store. They are willingly and knowingly using their Fortnite money to buy exclusives rather than improving their store and making it a true competitor to Steam, right? It gets to the point where the Epic Store consistently leaks user information with no security because they don't even have email verification on. So yeah, that's ridiculous. That is Epic. You can still go shove it. I hate your company. I hate your business practice. Get better. Stop with this nonsense. Ubisoft. I didn't watch the Ubisoft conference. I had finals. I had a final exam to take, but so I didn't watch it. But from what I gather, there wasn't really much that they showed off, aside from like I think Watch Dogs 2, no 3, Watch Dogs 3 maybe, and then like there's some new like Ghost Recon or whatever, and then like their Uplay stuff. Yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. That's their third Watch Dogs game. They didn't really show off, I don't think, much in the way of new stuff aside from just that and hey, a Uplay Plus. Yeah, wonderful, great. As if I want to use another friggin' thing to download and play games. I don't care for Uplay. It's dumb. Square Enix. I didn't see all of Square Enix. I saw a bit of it. The Final Fantasy VII remake looks awesome, but again, very cinematic. I don't quite trust it yet. I want to see just full, unedited, unaltered gameplay, just nothing but that before I can really trust the FF7 remake. Um, this Avengers thing I believe was announced here. I didn't see this part, but I believe it was announced here. this Secret Avengers game, and yeah, it looks interesting. I'm not quite sure about this art style here, but it looks interesting. I want to see how this pans out. It could be good. It could be really good. It's a Marvel game, and Marvel games aren't you in the modern era at least. Marvel games aren't usually terrible. So, who knows? I don't. I'm not entirely certain about this, but it could be good. It could be good. I have my hopes up for this. I'm generally more optimistic when it comes to this kind of thing. Aside from that, I believe they talked about a new expansion for Final Fantasy 14. Let me see. Does this help? Yeah. Yeah, Avengers, so a new Kingdom Hearts remake already, dear lord. Some more Dragon Quest stuff, Octopath on the PC. I saw that on Steam earlier. Outriders, Oninaki, a lot of this stuff I don't really know about. I hate Life is Strange. I hate the Life is Strange franchise. I could make a rant about that on its own. Dragon Quest Builders 2, I like Dragon Quest. I don't really like the Builder stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Some more remakes of Final Fantasy. Yeah, the Dying Light 2, I don't, yeah, that's about it. It wasn't, it turns out I didn't really need to see all of it anyway. So yeah. Nintendo. Oh, the Nintendo Direct though. Ooh, man, this was the thing that got me hyped. That got me excited all the way through. Nintendo really knows how to get people excited, especially because they do this thing where they actually show you new stuff. You know, you actually get to see cool new things instead of just the same thing that's been announced a year ago again. So for one, we got to see a new gym leader for the Pokemon Sword and Shield area. This water gym leader. This goes from like I think the last direct. So we got to see her. She looks cool. I love the legendary. I like the way the legendaries look. I think I'm gonna go sword just because it's a wolf carrying a giant sword in its mouth. That just looks awesome to me. So yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield just generally looks really awesome. I like that's fully 3D. It seems like it's gonna be a really cool new Pokemon game. What else? No More Heroes 3. Man, I I am a sucker for Suda51 games. Man, I love the stuff Suda51 uh, cooks up because he cooks up the weirdest stuff. He's the guy behind the Silver Case, Killer 7, Killer is Dead, Lollipop Chainsaw, and of course the No More Heroes franchise, and we're finally getting a third. And considering the fact that this is the No More Heroes world and basically anything goes, I cannot wait to see what madness we are in store for this time with Suda51's creative mind at work here. So yeah. Saw some more Astral Chain and Daemon X Machina, and those still look awesome and very anime. And I mean, I like anime, so it looks really cool. I know there are demos out on the Switch, but I haven't played them yet. Maybe I should, because these games look really cool. I'm pairing them up like this because they feel similar. I don't know, they just feel similar, even though I know they're different. Yeah, they feel very similar. So yeah, those two have been a thing, and then I think my last part is Smash Brothers. Yes, yes, yes. I love Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest was the thing that got me into JRPGs after my friends introduced it to me when I was in like, I don't know, early middle school. I got introduced to it via Dragon Quest 8, I think, on the DS. Or I think was it DSi? I think it was DSi. Yeah, DSi. I got introduced to it there, um, and I am so excited that I can play as the hero. That's just his name, the hero. Um, and the best part is the costume for the hero. I think it's a costume, not Echo Fighters, but the costume for the hero. You can change it from being the Dragon Quest XI hero to the hero of most of the biggest Dragon Quest games. So you can be like the main character from Dragon Quest 1, 11, I think 8, 9, all that stuff. That's so that's really cool. You don't have to just and I know he's another sword fighter, but I mean it's Dragon Quest. I had a feeling Dragon Quest was going to show up eventually, Because again, this is Nintendo. They're a Japanese company, and not only have they worked with Dragon Quest before with Fortune Street, which is a it's basically like a stock market based Monopoly game that is a crossover between Nintendo and Dragon Quest. Yeah, it's weird, I know. So they've worked with them before, and also Dragon Quest is one of the most popular video game franchises in Japanese history. So it's kind of no wonder that they'd show up in Smash eventually, especially the Smash game that is supposed to be the penultimate Smash Brothers experience. So it's no surprise that he'd show up. But then, oh, where is it? Where's the image? Where's the image? I had it here earlier. Where is it? Yes. Banjo-Kazooie finally here. I didn't play Banjo-Kazooie. I'm too young to have played Banjo-Kazooie, but I I but I've seen a bunch of people who have played it and talked about it and everything, and it's a cult classic game. You know, it's a super popular N64 game made by Rare, and everyone, this was like the thing that everyone wanted to happen, but people thought wouldn't happen just because Rare and Banjo-Kazooie is owned by Microsoft, and so the idea was Microsoft would never allow their property to go on a Nintendo console, right? But apparently it did. Apparently it's happened. They've made a deal. Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash, and it feels amazing because they've got to be in Smash. This is Banjo-Kazooie. Like, these guys, these were some of the top mascots for the Nintendo 64. You know, Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, those are some of the biggest games for the N64. You can't just leave them out in one of the biggest Nintendo crossover games in history, you know? You can't just leave them out, right? So it's wonderful that they actually got it to work. So now the hero and Banjo-Kazooie are in. Yes. Nintendo got me the most so yeah, this is so that's generally my thoughts on E3 as a whole, right? I don't really have much else to say, and this is running up on like 17 minutes now. So I think this is a good time to end. So yeah, this was the again to restate my thoughts at the beginning. E3 pretty uneventful. Only a few things here and there got me excited, but Nintendo, who I think they were only actually at the conference in a booth. They never actually had a conference themselves. They just did the direct. But Nintendo dominated it. Nintendo crushed E3 this year, as they seem to always do with their stuff, because, you know, they actually show you stuff. Um, so yeah, those are, I think, my general thoughts on E3 2019. Yeah, that's generally it. I will leave it off there then. This has been the RatMan with To The Point E3 2019. I will see you all later. Goodbye. Feel free to subscribe, by the way. Just, you know, if you want more opinions and whatnot. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Thank you. Goodbye.